Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to that hot new British mixtape that I just dropped, but unfortunately is only available on my OnlyFans account, otherwise known as a Warframe video. Makari? Where do I get auras from? Makari! Where do I get this weapon from? But Makari, how do I earn the things and do the stuff? I just spat all over my camera there. I do apologize. But these are questions, common questions I get asked on a day-by-day basis. And you know what? I thought it was about damn time that we make a guide for Nightwave. Yes, what exactly it is, why it's asking you to play with our dear friend Clem, and why exactly some pirate is giving us a weird dystopian currency for murdering half the galaxy. Nightwave, in its simplest form, is the equivalent to Warframe's Battle Pass, a seasonal event that embarks upon a subset of story being told by our lovely lady Nora of the Night, who broadcasts her luscious, sultry lips across the galaxy, bequeathing us with delightful stories and sultry tellings of a time gone by, and giving us daily challenges to earn favor towards her ever-growing demands and hopefully get a nitane or two that doesn't then equate to us crying about not having enough nitane for Vauban. You know who you are. Every season brings different rewards where you will basically have a set list of challenges to complete every week. Similar to a rep grind with syndicates, for example. Completing these challenges will earn rep towards that season's Nightwave. And every X amount of rep, usually 10,000 rep, earned will then earn you a tier of that season's Nightwave rewards. These rewards are usually quite helpful, with things like weapon slots, former bundles, cosmetics, and ultimately leading up to that penultimate extra fancy reward at the highest level, which as well is usually some kind of cosmetic and an umbral former, being one of the only places you can get umbral formers, in fact. Nightwave, in of itself, usually lasts anywhere between 2 months and 9. Yeah, there's been a bit of a controversy around that recently, but let's not get too deep into that, shall we? But suffice to say, they aren't around forever, and once the season ends, the unique rewards from that season are gone for good, or at least until DE decides to rehash the content like they say. There's usually an intermission after a season to tie you over for the next season, which usually comprises of some previous season rewards and just general tie-overs whilst we wait for that next season to drop. Let's not talk about the current state of the intermission, please. Just don't talk about the intermission. Don't talk about the intermission. Don't talk about it. It's not worth it. It's... Anyway. These challenges will range in difficulty from simply deploying a glyph in a mission to vanquishing an eidolon. There is certainly a bit of a dichotomy between the difficulty here, but the more challenging tasks will reward you with much more rep, and generally these challenges are split into different categories of daily challenges, which will be refreshed on a day-by-day basis, and weeklies, which you'll get a new set of at the start of every week. And usually the weeklies will be more challenging, but for a much higher reward as stated previously. I'm repeating myself apparently, and I didn't look at my script. Anyway, I'm going to run with it. And don't worry if you miss a week, you can in fact go back and catch up using a mechanic where you can essentially recover previous week's Nightwave missions. Basically, so long as you complete the current week's challenges, you can recover a previous week's challenges so you're not left out of the loop and you don't get left behind on the tiers of the Nightwave. Now, it's worth noting, there's a new season that's just round the corner with the Glassmaker. And with the Glassmaker, there are going to be even more improvements to the system we have currently, with much more involved storytelling. Although this is always the secondary element to these Battle Pass style mechanics, it's worth noting that there is always a story element to the main seasons of Nightwave, which can be fun to dabble around with. And with the Glassmaker, there's going to be kind of like a guess who kind of dealio going on here, where you're going to have to try and guess whether it was the butler or the maid who killed Barlas. I mean, did I say Barlas? Spoilers! The main thing we want are those juicy, juicy rewards. So for those who have been around for a while, you'll remember that the alerts were the original way you used to get things like Nitane, Aura mods, and a bunch of other stuff. Well, those rewards have now been spliced and shifted to the Nightwave. Rehashed. What? Anyway, every few tiers of the Nightwave, you'll earn that season's quote-unquote credits, which have different names depending on the season. You can then spend those Nightwave credits on the Nightwave store rewards. Chat, do you want it from the shop? Anyone says Cornetto will get a cookie. And a Cornetto. What do you want from the shop? Cornetto.
There's a different flavour in each. There's only 3 flavours of Cornetto, so one's the mint chocolate one in the film. One's the strawberry and one's the regular.
Yeah, Siren interrupted the recording. It's fine. It's fine. I'll leave this in. I'll leave this entire segment in the guide just to see what people think. Yo, you people on YouTube, do you want anything from the shops? Leave a comment down below. Siren, do you have anything to say to YouTube?
No, but do you want me to pick up some rice? I have rice.
Yes. Now be gone, woman, before you interrupt me further. I love you. Where was I? Oh, yeah. It's worth noting that not all of the rewards are going to be there at any given time, and they will in fact rotate around on a weekly basis. Now, these rewards I will have a link to in the description and maybe on screen here that will show you exactly what you can get. So if one of the weapons or mods you're looking for are not there, there's a good chance it'll be there the week after. Now, for the sake of pragmatism, I think it would do well to inform you all as to the more important things you can get from Nightwave. Of course, it is all subjective as to what you aim to get, and it's worth getting everything at some point or another. There are some things you can repeatedly get to aid you in your currencies of Warframe, like Kuva and Catalysts and all that jazz, but there are certainly things you want to keep an eye out for that are going to be more pertinent than others. Corrosive Projection is by far and away one of the most pertinent items you can get from Nightwave. Although all of the aura mods are worth getting, there are no aura mods quite as universally appreciated as Corrosive Projection, which will help reduce enemy armor to benefit your team, and thus making killing enemies easier. There are a number of weapons that you can obtain from Nightwave as well, which are the Ceramic Dagger, Dark Sword, Glaive, Heat Dagger, Heat Sword, Jaw Sword, Pangolin Sword, and Plasma Sword. They do occasionally add to this as well, but these are the most notable as of this video, and you definitely want to try and get these if nothing more than just the mastery. And as kind of touched upon earlier, you can also get fully crafted Orokin Catalysts and Reactors, which are used for doubling the base capacity of frames and weapons, and when you have the excess of points, these can save you a lot of crafting hassle in the future. Another useful thing that you can get from this, and I do have to stress this quite thoroughly, there is also Kuva! You thought I wasn't going to fit that in somewhere in this video, didn't you? Either way, you can get Kuva from this, although it's a rotational reward that isn't always there. Getting a bit of extra Kuva for a bit of credits that you've built up can be quite nice for rolling those ribbons that seem to never roll into their godlike rolls like you want them to. And finally, the Nightwave is also the only way to get the regular Vauban components. 2 of his pieces will always be available per week, so you'll need to be around for at least 2 cycles of Nightwave to get all of his components. And I'm going to stop doing this list because my Twitch chat are currently trying to tease me with the fact that I just did Kuva. Why do I record these on Twitch? I do have to ask myself that question sometimes. Really, that's about it when you think about it. It's worth noting, though, with each main season of Nightwave, there are usually some interesting tropes that go with it. With Season 1, you had the Wolves of Saturn 6 who tried to embark his furry fandom-esque nature upon us, who would randomly show up in your missions as a boss-type character and absolutely kick your ass. You had Arlo with Season 2 with his companions appearing all over the place who would sometimes heal you, and then they'd reveal the fact they were in fact infested scum. Either way, aside from the main challenge of the Nightwave, these extra things that get added are usually an extra form and way of attaining the reputation for that Nightwave season. Now, as for the process of doing these challenges, honestly, take it at your leisure. Even if you only complete the simplest and easiest of challenges every day, it's likely you'll still get more than enough points to get to the highest rank with no problem. Especially if there's a delay like there normally is with these seasons. Although some of the challenges are locked by needing to complete quests like the Second Dream or behind a certain mastery rank point. But so long as you do just a small portion of Nightwave challenges a day, you'll get what you want from this Nightwave season. But of course, this is an involved system, so you have to realize you get what you put in. The more you put in, the more you'll get out. If you don't go for the highest tier rewards, you can just sit doing the simpler ones and you'll still make your way up. And at the end of the day, even if you don't put much time in, you'll easily get to rank 5 or 10 throughout the season just by playing the game. Most of these challenges are, simply put, part of the game that you already experience, with some notion of divvying the actual mechanics to them slightly. For example, doing a 20 wave defense mission, or what they did previously with a 1 hour Kuva survival without using the actual oxygen pods or the life support systems even. So really, take it at your leisure. Do the ones you feel like doing. If you don't feel like doing it, by all means don't. But realize this is an extra mechanism within the game that gets you involved with things that you might not otherwise have done. And realistically, it's a good way of setting yourself goals as well, because the harder challenges are often things that would go underutilized by a lot of people, and this can be a form and way of getting into content you would otherwise not have tried. So, quite a short and to-the-point video. Hopefully it's been informative for those who are just jumping into the game. Of course, with our YouTube channel, we focus on the idea of helping the new players and existing veterans alike, so we can all be informed as to things we may not understand or know. And as always, we do record these on Twitch, as I praised to earlier, with the intent of getting the people on Twitch involved with the creation of these videos. So if you feel like joining us, if you feel like joining a community that streams pretty much every single day with Warframe and Escape from Tarkov, with emphasis of positivity, no elitism, and all that kind of good stuff, there will be a link to my Twitch and my Twitter down below as well. So pop a follow on both those if you get the chance. Leave me comments down below as what you hope to see from the future Nightwave seasons. And yeah, thank you for watching, guys. I'll see all of you top hatters in the next video. And I'm going to go now before Twitch makes any more fun of me, because right now they've been taking the pee out of me this entire recording. So ta-ra!